All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another session of the Relaxing Fertility Yoga sponsored by the Fertility Partnership. So, my name is Julie, and if this is the first time that you are joining us here, well, firstly, welcome. But secondly, please know that these sessions, they are for both women and men. And if and anyone on any stage of their IVF journey, these sessions are safe. So if you are say, for example, in the process of an embryo transfer or at any other stage of the IVF process, these sessions are safe for that. Even if you could be pregnant, these sessions are safe. That being said, please listen to your body. So if something doesn't feel quite right to you, please feel free to give it a miss. Likewise, guys, if you have any requests, so if there's anything that you're really hoping that we might do in a session, please always feel free to put something through in the comments. But likewise, feel free to message me beforehand. As you might have seen last week, we had a session about embryo transfers and poses to help with that. And that came via a request that someone had sent me on Instagram. So please do feel free always to let me know if there's anything that you are possibly particularly needing. Right. So we'll start the session, and we're going to start with a centering and a breathing exercise. And then we're going to move into some warm-up movements. And then from there, we will flow through some postures and then do a little bit of relaxation at the end. So as always, my invitation to you is to practice being kind to yourself. So anything that might be coming up for you, see if you can just notice it with a sense of curiosity. So sometimes we can get into these spirals or these loops where maybe we're in a really negative thought pattern, and then we suddenly go into oh, I shouldn't be thinking that. And then it continues this negative thought pattern or spiral. And so if you find that is one of your patterns, see if you can just witness it. Just kind of have this curiosity. Oh, that's what I'm thinking right now, or that's what I'm feeling right now, rather than put any judgment on it. Just see if you can let anything and everything be as it is. Okay. All right. So let's begin with that centering and breathing. To start, you can either sit or lie down. Please always feel free to use any yoga props that you might have. So bolsters, blocks, cushions, pillows, blankets, anything that's going to make you feel comfortable and cozy. Please feel free to use those. And again, they don't actually have to be labeled as yoga props. You can just grab a blanket from your couch. Okay. So, and please forgive the Christmas jumper. It was just what was clean in my room that I found earlier. Right. So once you find your centering position, either seated or lying down, again, just whatever feels comfortable to you. Take a few rolls of your shoulders. So you're going to inhale and roll the shoulders up and exhale them down and back. And again. And one more. And then just relax your shoulders down and relax your hands, either facing up or down. Up for receiving energy or down for grounding energy. And then close your eyes. And take a few deep inhales through the nose, with exhales sighing or blowing the air out of the mouth. And just do this as many times as you need. Inhaling calm, exhaling, sighing out, letting go of any stress or any tension. And once you've sighed out a few times, just come back to the natural rhythm of your breath. And start to notice your breath. Notice where your breath lands in the body. And then take the awareness and bring it to your face. And just start to soften the brow. Relax down along the corners of the eyes and the corners of the mouth. Loosen the jaw. And then take that awareness all the way down to the hands, relaxing the fingers. Then just check in with your body and notice anywhere else that you might currently be storing tension or strain. And see if you can just simply through that noticing, start to relax those spaces within your body. And again, just remember that everything is checking in without the need to judge, without the need to label. And then take the awareness and bring it back to your breath. And just start to deepen the breath through the nose. Inhale through the nose and take the breath down into the belly so that the belly rises with the inhale. Exhale out the nose and feel the belly roll back towards the spine. And again, we're using the diaphragm to breathe. So we inhale, take the breath down into the belly, feel the belly rise. Exhale out the nose and feel the belly fall. And then deepen your breath further. Inhale through the nose, fill up, belly, ribs, chest, expanding all the way up through the inhale. Exhale out the nose, chest, ribs, and belly contract. So we inhale and slowly expand all the way up. And then exhale and gently contract all the way back down. And just keep breathing there. So many of you will know that this is a Dirga breath, that basic breath there. But if you're familiar with it, you could come into your Ujjayi or your ocean wave sounding breath by constricting in the back of the throat in the epiglottis. So it's a bit like you're inhaling and exhaling the word home through the nose to create this audible wave sound. If you've had a cold recently, that might not feel like the best idea, in which case give that a miss. And it's just something that you can play with. It's just about bringing some warmth into the body. And whether breathing your Dirga or your Ujjayi breath, take about 5 more breaths here. And as always, any external sounds, so whether that's sounds from my end, like my cat playing with a laundry basket, or sounds on your end, especially given that it's almost the 5th of November, so you might hear fireworks. Try to just let it all be vibration. So not good, not bad, but just part of being alive here and now. Let's take another breath here. Then start to mentally ready yourself for movement. And just in your own time, in your own way, draw some movement back into your body, just letting yourself stretch, roll around, yawn, sigh, just do whatever would feel good to you. Okay. And then from here, Let's take the next minute to just gradually come up to standing. But just take your time coming up, really stretch out along the way, be expressive, be creative, be playful. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. So just, again, take your time coming up. All right, and then once you do make your way up to standing, take your feet slightly wider than a hip distance stance, okay? Just slightly wider than hip distance there, okay? And then we're going to inhale, lift the arms. Oh, and exhale, release. And again, inhale, lift. And exhale down. And then one more, inhale, lift. And then exhale. Take your right hand, bring it down and bring it to your waist so that you're just pressing in and up under your ribs. Inhale, lift the left arm up to the sky. And then exhale, start to tip it across so you're reaching that left arm up and over. And then inhale, lift all the way back up through center, and then interlace your fingers and turn your palms up to the sky and take a big stretch there. So we're just going to work on opening up our upper bodies a little bit tonight. And then turn the knuckles back around. Let that left hand come down. Bring it to your waist. Press in and up under your ribs. Inhale, right arm comes up. And then exhale, we tip it across. Inhale, take it all the way back up to center. And then exhale, release your arms all the way down. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale them down and back. Do that twice more. And then interlace your fingers behind your back. Draw your arms down. So you're popping your chest there. Okay, and then put a little bend into your knees. So just a little bend in the knees, and then exhale. Hinge forward from the hips. Hang the head. Let those interlaced fingers hang back and away from the lower back. All right, and then draw your hands back down to your lower back. Unwind your fingers and reverse up to the sky. And then exhale, release your arms and take them out to a T. So you're just coming into this nice wide stance. And actually from here, I want you to take your feet even a little bit wider so you can just wiggle them out. So you're taking it more like a 5-pointed star. Okay, so we have these nice wide legs. And if you're using a yoga mat, you might just end up coming off of it, or you might turn your position, and that's all fine. So I just want you to take a big inhale here. And actually exhale, turn your heels slightly in now so that your toes are pointing out at a V. Inhale. And then exhale, bend your elbows, bend your knees, and drop it down with your tailbone. So you're dropping down into goddess or Devyasana. So we're just starting to wake up the legs there, okay? And then inhale. Take it all the way back up through center. And again, exhale. Bend the elbows, bend the knees, drop it down. Inhale. Again, take it up. 5-pointed star. And then we're going to play a little bit here. Exhale, drop it down into goddess, into Devyasana. So just doing a little bit of strengthening here. And we're going to play as we're here. So I want you to drop one elbow down to the thigh and reach your opposite arm up and over. And then, like you're drawing a big circle across the ceiling, you're going to swap over to the other side. And then swing low. And again, start to create that big circle up. Now try to avoid this where you're straightening the leg out and doing that there. Try to stay strong here. Okay, so just building a bit of strength in the legs as we're stretching out, having this play, drawing the circle across the sky, being creative in our bodies. Take one more in each direction. Oh, and then when next you can, I know I'm going to push you a little bit here tonight. We're going to take the elbows down onto the legs and then use the arms to separate the legs out. So we're dropping down into this. If you've had any treatments and you're feeling a bit low or bad, just take it back up. Otherwise, if you're kind of in this point where you're feeling strong and you're feeling good, you can hold this for another couple breaths. And then we're going to push through the feet. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale. Unwind. Take your arms back to a T. And then I want you to, whoops, I'm slipping. I want you to turn your toes so your toes are pointing forward now. So you square the toes forward. Now, if you have any lower back sensitivities, you can also turn your toes slightly in. So go a bit pigeon-toed. Okay? So either straight or, again, any sensitivities, slight inward turn. And we're going to take an inhale here. And then exhale, I want you to swan dive and just fold forward. Hang the head, hang the arms. And just start to feel the stretch into the backs of your legs there. Give your head a few shakes, yes. And a few shakes, no. And again, yes, yes, yes. And no, no, no. Just hang the head, hang the arms. Take another breath here, just starting to stretch through the back of the body from the heels all the way to the neck. And then press through your feet. Bring your chest parallel to the ground. Lift your arms up into airplane. And then reverse the swan dive up to the sky. And exhale. Start to heel toe your feet to hip distance as you then let your arms come all the way back down. Inhale, lift the shoulders up. Exhale, roll them back. Okay. And as always, we're playing quite a bit with the hips, and there are so many reasons for that. But the hips are such an important part when we're looking at things like fertility. But again, it's all about listening to your body and also finding your balance. So not just your physical balance, but as far as whether you need to push yourself today to make things a little harder, if you're feeling quite strong, or if you had a treatment and you might be feeling a bit lower on energy, how you can lovingly pull back and give yourself the space to nourish yourself. So just always remember to be playing with that dynamic within yourself. I'm offering something here, but that doesn't mean you have to be doing exactly that. Okay, so we're going to play a little bit with a balance that's also going to open the hips up. And that being said, I am going to take my socks off for this one, just because I find it a bit easier to balance without socks, and you might too. So just, again, find what feels right for you. But we're going to start at hip distance. My dogs, of course, as ever, may or may not run across the screen or start to play. You want to play? We're not going to play right now. She wants her toy, which lives behind the piano, because she would tear it apart if it didn't. So, okay, so we are at hip distance, and we're going to zip up through the pelvis, zip up through the core. So we're just nice and strong at the center of our bodies. And even before we go into the pose any further, I just would like you to take a moment to just imagine dropping into this center in your abdomen. And take a moment to see this center as strong, loved, present. Okay. And then relax your shoulders. And start to shift your weight a little bit, foot to foot, leg to leg. And then shift your weight into your right foot. We're going to start simple. We're then going to take the left heel, bring it up above the right ankle, turning that knee out to the side. So we start with the most basic form of a tree pose. Now, if this is enough for you, stay here. So if you've been struggling with your balance for any reason, or if you're newer to this, I'm sorry guys, this might be enough for you. I'm so sorry. She's asking to go into the kitchen, which she's just been let into now. She's allowed in there, but anyway. So if you need to use a wall, please feel free to use a wall. And then if you want to take this a little bit further, you might slide that foot up into the calf. Now, avoid the knee. It seems like a really obvious place for some people. I used to also think that it's just not a great habit to get into long term. It's not so good for your joint. So then if you want to take it yet further, you might put the foot up into the thigh, but you just have to find what feels right to you. Then you can find your drishti, so a point on the wall or the floor that doesn't move. So not me, because I move. Okay. And then we're going to inhale and lift the arms up. And take your hands all the way up into a high namaste. And just hold that there and breathe. And I'm going to come out of the pose, but you stay in it. I'm only coming out because I want to show you what we're going to do with the arms here. Okay, so once you're here with your palms up, turn the backs of your hands together. And then take your right hand and bring it behind your left so that the palms come back together. Okay, so just to show that again, we start with the backs of the hands together. And then we take right behind left, palms come together. And then we're going to inhale and stretch up to the sky as best we can there. If your elbows can come behind your head, let them. If they don't, that's okay. Let them be here instead. Okay, so we're working on opening up the shoulders and opening up the upper back. So stay there, just another breath. Okay. All right. And then start to unwind. Release your arms and just gently release that left leg all the way down. For a moment, shift your weight into your left foot so that you can pick up your right foot and just give the ankle a little twizzle. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to shift once more into that right foot. We're going to do one more thing here. Okay, so what I would like you to do now is you're going to pick that left leg up again, and you're going to flex that left foot and bring it in front of the knee. So I'll step a little closer to the screen. So this is what we're doing here, okay? Now, once you're there, again, flex the foot rather than point. Pointing, this is not good for the knee, okay? So we want to flex, and we can take the hands to the hips, and then, oops, we have a little bit of an I dream of Jeannie moment. So we start to sit into this, okay? Now, once you're sitting into this, so you're bending that standing leg, see if you might be able to take your hands down towards the ground. Okay, so we're doing a really big stretch here. Whew, I know it's a tough one. Use a wall if you need to use a wall for support, but we're going to come out in just a moment anyway. Then push through that foot and start to come all the way up. See if you can do it with control. And then we let that left leg come back down. Now let's just take a few cleansing breaths. Inhale, lift up. And exhale. And again. And one more. And then inhale, lift all the way up. And then exhale, gently release down. Inhale, roll your shoulders up. Exhale them down and back. Okay. And then from here, feet are still at hip distance. And I, again, just want you to feel the foundation of your feet on the earth. So this practice, it's not just about the body, but it's also about what's happening mentally, energetically, emotionally. And so just, it can be so helpful just to remind ourselves that we are here on earth right now, that our feet are on the ground. And it might sound silly, but in fact, I would not dare you, that sounds provocative, but I would encourage you to, if you're feeling really stressed out, if you took your shoes and your socks off and you just stepped outside and put your feet onto the bare earth and walked around a little bit on the bare earth, on the grass, just notice what comes up for you in those moments or how your energy might shift. So often when we connect back to the present, to the earth, we can really ground ourselves, taking us out of the anxiety in the head, the anxiety in the chest, and just dropping us down into the body, which is good. If you want to think about it in scientific terms, it's also very good for your hormones, right? So fresh air and grounding. So other side, turning ourselves into trees. We're going to shift the weight a little bit, foot to foot, leg to leg again. Okay. And then shift your weight this time into your left foot. And we're going to take the right knee and turn it out to the side. Okay. I've got a slightly agitated dog here. And then we're going to take that foot and bring it up into the calf and maybe put it all the way up into the thigh. I'm going to help him onto the couch because he's 14 and a half and he has steps, but he doesn't use them. Okay. And then from here, take your arms all the way up. Draw your palms together. And then turn the backs of your hands together. Take your left hand behind your right this time. And then inhale and stretch up to the sky. So we are opening up through the shoulders and the upper back here. Ooh. If you lose your balance at any point, just laugh, play, come back. Yeah. There's no reason to take it too seriously. Okay. Then start to unwind. And we release that right foot down. And we're just going to pick up that left leg and twizzle the ankle around a little bit. You might even shake that leg out. Shaking up any stagnated energy. Okay. And then again, shift the weight into your right foot. Oops, said that wrong. Shift your weight into your left foot. Okay. And then we're going to pick that right leg up. And again, we're going to flex that foot, bend the knee, bring it out in front, not on the knee, but up on the thigh. And then we're going to have an I Dream of Jeannie moment. If you know that reference, it's basically an American television show from my mother's time. And then if it's available to you, you might take your hands down towards the floor, or if you've got a couple yoga blocks, you might put them onto the blocks. And we just really bend that standing leg here. Again, so we're working into the back of that hip. Just opening things up. And then slowly start to lift yourself all the way back up. Oh, and then we unwind. Take the feet back to hip distance. And then from here, take a big inhale, lift the arms. And again. One more. And then inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, swan dive, hinge forward from your hips and just hang your head, hang your arms into Uttanasana, into a standing forward fold. So again, we're stretching from the heels all the way to the neck, through the back of the body. Oh, just take a few deep breaths there. All right. And then take the fingertips to your shins. So you're coming into a flat back with straight legs. Okay. And draw your arms up into airplane and just reverse up to the sky. And then release your arms down. And then from here, I want you to bring your feet together as best you can. We're not going to actually stay here. I know if you're like me, your knees, they might not like this. My knees, they don't like to be right next to each other. They kind of fight for space. So some people could stay like this all day long. I'm not one of them. We're just starting out here. So just starting out, feet together, legs together. Okay. And then just to show you this from the side, so we're going to then send the bottom back and we lift the heels up as we do it. Okay. So bottom back, heels come up. It's a very awkward pose to stay in. We're not going to stay here. It's kind of like I have to pee kind of looking pose. Okay. And then we're going to take the knees and bring them out to the sides and take the hands down. So that's the point of why we're doing this. So we're going to bend the knees, lift the heels, take the hands down and let the knees separate. Now, once the knees have separated, the idea is that your balls of the feet and your heels are together. Okay. Then we play with coming up so that we're coming up to rest the hands on the legs. So we're playing with this balance. It's a tricky one, I know. Just breathe. If you want more, you can play with taking your arms up and again coming up into a high namaste. And then start to release the arms down. Can you shut the chicken door? Chicken door. Thank you. Sorry, guys. My automatic chicken door hasn't been working lately, so I've just asked my partner to go shut it out manually. Okay. And then once you've released the arms down, just go ahead and walk your hands out in front of you. Okay. And then we're going to come into a nice stretch for the lower back. So what I'd like you to do now is just sit back into your heels here. I'm going to tip the camera back down. So just bear with me. Okay. So big toes are together behind you in a little kiss. So you can just think my big toes love each other. Okay. And then once you've got your big toes in that position, your shins and your calves, they might be talking to you a little bit after that squat, but that's okay. Okay. We're then going to take the arms out in front of us. It's not a wide angle child's pose. So for those of you already quite familiar with yoga, it's not a wide angle child's pose. This is actually a stretch that is for your iliopsoas, which starts in your lower back. It rolls around in front of the hip and it connects to your femur. And it's a muscle that's often responsible for low back pain. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the arms out in front, but then we're going to push the bottom back so that hopefully we should start to feel a stretch on the inside of the upper thigh here. Okay. And you just push it back into there, into that. Thank you. Okay. If it's available to you, you might come lower, but the thing to avoid is lurching forward. So sometimes you can come lower, but then you end up arching your back and then you end up putting pressure into your back rather than alleviating it. So I just want you to keep pushing back there. And just take about 3 more breaths here. Slowly start to walk yourself back up. Lean up towards your hands. Oh, and then just draw your legs in there. Okay. And then once you've brought the legs in, take your hands out to one side and just extend the legs all the way out in front of you. Okay, and we're then going to start to bring it down onto the back now, just continuing with some nice stretches for the body, for the hips, giving the body lots of love, and just always that reminder that at the end of the day, that is the top invitation that I have for you here, is to just practice finding that nurturing of your body, that nurturing of yourself. Not the punishing, but the loving. Okay. So start to bring yourself down onto your back. And once you come down onto your back, just relax your shoulders. Take a moment to sigh out. Okay. And then start to draw your right knee in towards your chest and flex the foot. Sorry, one of the dogs might bark in just a second. No, I'm surprised she didn't bark. Okay. Sorry, just because my partner was walking out the door. So we're going to flex that right foot, interlace the fingers over the right shin. Take your left leg up into the sky, flex your left foot. Okay. And then we're going to take that left leg all the way down. Oof. And we get to feel that left hip flexor. Okay. And then unwind the fingers and take the sole of your right foot down to the floor. Walk your right ankle up next to the inside of your left leg and then tip your right knee out to the side. Now, if that leg does not come comfortably down, so if that leg is quite high into the air, grab a pillow or a cushion that you can just prop up the leg with so that you're not feeling super uncomfortable. And then we're going to take the hands up, interlace the fingers, point the index fingers and the thumbs, and then draw the arms down to the sides of the head and take a nice long stretch back. Oh, and just breathe. So this is tree pose, but the supine variation. So then we get to feel the hip a little bit differently. Excuse me. Okay. And we can even play with a leaning supine tree. So we're just going to walk the shoulders over to the right. And then we feel a nice opening through the left side of the torso. And then slide and walk the arms back to center. Lift up the arms, bend that knee. And just take your arms back down to the sides of your body. Bend your left knee. Place both feet on the floor again, feet at a hip distance stance. Okay. And then inhale, lift the hips, lift the pelvis, interlace your fingers under your body, walk the shoulders together. So you're coming up into bridge or Setu Bandhasana. And we're just squeezing and lifting, like we're lifting a block up to the sky there. We're activating the glutes. So we've been playing a lot today with a mix of hip openers and strength and balance. And it really is always about finding the balance in the moment for yourself. So knowing when you need to push, knowing when you need to ease off. And maybe even rather than saying knowing, it could be learning when you need to ease off, learning when you need to push. All right. And then just unwind the shoulders, take your back down to the earth again. Draw the left knee into your chest, flex that left foot, interlace the fingers over the shin. And take your right leg up into the sky, flex that foot. And draw your right leg all the way down. Oh. Okay. So again, just a quick hello to that hip flexor. And then unwind the fingers and walk your left leg towards your right inner thigh. And then let that left knee tip out to the side. And again, please feel free to prop up that left knee with a cushion or anything else that you might need so that that feels comfortable to you. And then interlace your fingers, point your index fingers and your thumbs. Draw your arms down to the sides of your head and just take a nice long stretch there. And then take a little supine leaning tree as well, walking your shoulders over towards that left side. So then we get that beautiful long stretch across the right side of the body. And then slide and walk yourself all the way back to center. And then just unwind your arms, rebend that left knee. And then two options here. You can either bend both knees. Actually, changing my mind. Let's throw one more thing in here. Go ahead, bend both knees. Walk your feet out slightly wider than hip distance and just relax your arms. And then I want you to just start to drop. So say you start to drop the right side down, and then we just push through that left foot a little bit as we drop to the right. That left leg won't come all the way to the floor. You can get a nice stretch on the quad and the hip here. Okay, and then we roll back through center and we take it over to the other side. Ugh. And just take a few of these at your own pace, side to side. It should feel really nice, hopefully. One more to each side. And then come back to center. And then either bend your knees, placing your feet on the floor if that feels better to your lower back, or extend your legs all the way out, just letting them flop and splay, however feels good to you. And just relax your shoulders, relax your hands. And close your eyes. And take a few deep inhales through the nose, with exhales sighing or blowing the air out of the mouth. And then once you've sighed out a few times, just let your natural breath take over again. Feel your eyelids become heavy over your eyes. And feel your body just starting to melt down onto the ground, onto the earth. And as you melt down here, as you relax down, I'd like you to, without any judgment, without being carried away by any emotion, but again, as a curious being, as a curious witness to your experience, ask yourself if there are places where your life might be out of balance. And just notice what comes up for you. Again, no judgment, just awareness. And likewise, ask yourself what the balance is like between your mind, your body, your feelings. Are you really caught up in the mind? Are you really caught up in the heart? And again, just notice what comes up. And then intuitively ask yourself how you might better bring balance into your life or into your experience. And again, allow for the answers. And then from here, if it resonates for you, set the intention to practice being more mindful about the balance in your life, in your body. You know, sometimes when it comes to fertility, it may be that we haven't quite created the space yet for what we're hoping to bring in, what we're hoping to cultivate, especially if the life is very out of balance, if we're working all the time, if we're stressed all the time. So just see balance also as part of your journey in this life. And then start to deepen your breath. And draw some movement back into your fingers and into your toes. And gently roll to one side. And bring yourself all the way back up to seated. And take your hands into prayer in front of your heart. And gently bow, honoring your body, your light, your practice on this earth. Thank you all so much for coming this evening. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening ahead and the weekend ahead. We'll be back here next week, same time, same place. Like I said, please feel free to message me if you have any requests. I know someone's requested also a class about the 2-week wait. So I'm just sitting with that one right now, how I would like to structure that. So I'll definitely do that in the next few weeks as well. Yeah, again, anything else that might come to you if you want me to focus a session on something, just send me a message. That's it for now. Have a beautiful rest of your night and weekend, and hopefully see you next week. Take care of yourself and just keep being kind to yourself as you progress on your journey in life. Good night.